once again to the Village Boy Academy, where we give you constantly business tips on how to run your business to become more profitable and to assist for a lot reasonable time. We actually aiming that your business should be so that you can bequeath to the generation coming after you, meaning your business outlive you. In the previous videos, especially when I was talking of the purpose of setting up business, I emphasize that business can still fail irrespective of whether the business is profitable, and I've emphasized this in many of my videos. And another video which I tagged how not to run business, I also explain those things you should avoid doing, which I said that nobody teaches in schools. So, but from experience that we gather on the street, we have come to the understanding of that. Then another video where I try to explain, in the simplest term, risk management in business. I encourage us to ensure that we always pay attention to issue of risk, the occurrence of things that may likely impact our business positively or negatively. Today I want to talk about why do business fail. Business failure is a common phenomenon everywhere, all over the world. It's not limited to the developing countries alone. It is even rampant in advanced countries that the business there in the neighborhood that was once thriving, you just hear that it has gone under. Why so? I would say the primary reasons internally where business fail is mismanagement. And mismanagement could occur in so many dimensions. Mismanagement could be mismanagement of all the resources. It could be excessive spending of money. It could be not able to differentiate the money that belongs to the business and the money that belongs to the owners. It could be acquiring equipment that you don't need, and it could also be even not servicing the equipment that you use for the business. All these are all forms of mismanagement. And mismanagement could also be misappropriation, whereby you divert funds for other purposes, other than for the benefit of the business. So mismanagement is one big issue, and it is such a big umbrella that so many things can come underneath mismanagement. Mismanagement leads to a lot of business failures. It could be the owner no longer paying attention to the business or taking for granted so many things. So it could be mismanagement of your customer, mismanagement of your suppliers. It could be so many things. So mismanagement is a very fundamental issue where business fail. And again, why do business fail? Business fail sometimes because you take a wrong business decision. Let me use the case of a printing industry, for instance. To cut certain things short, you want to undercut things, you choose to not to do the right thing, and you invested in an equipment that will not serve the purpose that you want to use, and you use it to run an impression to print a job, and the job is rejected, and you have to redo the job, maybe because you have taken a wrong decision, and that means all the money for the first is gone, so you have to replace it. That is even in simplest form. When you talk about wrong investment, is you put money in an investment that either you are not sure of, or that is not even in relation to the kind of business you are doing, and the investment goes down, or you buy products, you buy materials that you don't need, or you buy material that went bad, and there's nothing you can do about it. The loss is so that can wipe off maybe 10 years profit or 15 years profit at the same time. Yes, it could happen. So wrong investment decision will always make a business to go down. Because when you begin to make business, yeah, it is advisable when you have excess fund that you should invest. Or you could be you want to upgrade the business. I mean, you want to bring in something, you want to bring new innovations into the business. But if you do it the wrong way, it could become an albatross for your business, and that could actually get the business under. I mean, for instance, you are doing you talk about your cycle. You get money short term, but you decide to put money on long term investment, long term products, and the return is not coming as expected. I mean, it's not coming in short term. Then that could put pressure on you. You cannot meet your immediate financial obligations, and you may go bankrupt. So another major issue where business faces like personnel management. Quite often, especially in the SMEs, we take the issue of personnel management for granted. They can make, and personnel can make or mar your business. Something that when they engage employees to do business with them or for them, they are kind of doing the employees some favor. You don't know that your employee, your personnel, they are the engine room of your business. If you don't manage them very well, they can break your business. They can destroy your business. Because when the employee, the personnel become disgruntled, when they no longer pay attention to your business, before you know, gradually the business will be going under. The thing they should do normally, they will not do it. Especially when they are not motivated, or when it is even worse when they are demotivated. So if they think you as the owner of the business, you don't have their interest at heart, they don't have the interest of your business at heart too. It's not about whether they have conscience or they don't have conscience. Some people, human beings, we have the way we react to things. So, but wrong personnel management can cause your business to go under. I think I had a video which I talk about how to get the best out of your employees. So if you don't manage your personnel very well, you may inadvertently, prime your business for eventual failure. Then there's the issue of working capital. Working capital is usually the interplay between your current asset and your current liability, your current needs and your current obligations, and what you currently have. You have inadequate working capital, whereas meaning that when you cannot meet your obligation as and when due, then you could you could be priming yourself again for failure. One of the consequences of inadequate working capital is that, one, you may no longer enjoy credit facility because you have been failing. You may be forced to buy on cash, and that may limit your ability of the input you can buy, because sometimes when you buy on cash, the price might be higher because you are buying on a panic situation, and when you no longer enjoy credit facilities, you have lost the supplier confidence. You are going to run into trouble. And when you also have an excessive debtor, where people are not paying, people are buying your goods, they are not paying. I've seen it. It happens to bakeries. It happens to those who are making sachet water. You discover that you are just rolling out product, you are rolling out products, but you are not collecting money in returns. So it gets to a point that you can no longer even meet your own obligation. So eventually, what happens? The business fails. So bad or ineffective working capital management can cause a business to fail. Another thing that can cause a business to fail is that when you have excessive managerial control, such that you steal initiatives among your employees. When management becomes high-handed, where they don't seek the opinion. I think I have a full video about involving employees in the decision-making process. When situation is not investigated and the management become very judgmental, the management become very hostile to the workers, of course, they will transfer the hostility to the workers, will be transferred to the customers. It will be transferred to the suppliers. And what happened? Your business will be avoided. Materials will be wasted. quality will be reduced, and customer will start rejecting goods or the services. Or if the service is even worse, customer will go elsewhere. So excessive managerial control can cause a business to fail. It is not bad for to have control. Of course, you can't even run without control. It's like driving a car without a brake. But you must be able to understand how to manage, how to moderate the control, such that it's not such that control will now steal in initiatives, will not demotivate people again. It is also an aspect of personnel management, but it's still an issue on its own. So excessive managerial control can steal initiatives, and when that happens, the business will be going down gradually until it finally fails. In many of my videos, I've emphasized this: improper record keeping. When you don't keep good record, you don't even know what you are doing. You don't know what you are making. There are business owners when they see money in the bank, they just spend. They don't know whether that money, maybe a customer made the deposit for goods that have not been supplied. That is not an asset. It's a liability because you have not fulfilled your part of the obligation. And if you see that money and begin to spend it, then you now come under pressure to fulfill the obligation. Then you have to maybe go and look for money and borrow money with excessive charges and all that. So at the end of the day, a particular contract or obligation that should have been profitable you can make a loss. And when the money begin to accumulate loss, over time you discover that there is nothing left. When you keep good record, when you keep proper record, what does it help you? It helps you to monitor your operations. It helps you to find out the area that require attention in your operations. It helps you to know the limitation of what you can spend and what you cannot spend. It gives you even grace, better opportunity to innovate, to become more strategic. Okay, how can we improve our bottom line? How can we, get more customers? What can we do better? But when you don't keep good record, when you don't keep proper record, I'm afraid you will miss all these opportunities. And when all these problems begin to pile up, you will just discover that one day you can no longer operate because the body has become so much. That is why many businesses go bankrupt over a long period of time. You begin to wonder, this is a business in the neighborhood in the last 2-3 years that was thriving, that was just, and now it is gone because good records were not kept. Then when you are not consistent in your operation, especially there's this saying that if you lose a customer because of higher price, you may get the customer back. But when you lose a customer because of low quality, or reduced quality, there's every tendency you may not get that customer back. When you are inconsistent in the quality of your product, when you are inconsistent in the quality of your of your service that you give to customers, you get to a point that the customer begin to doubt you. And when they begin to doubt you, the next thing is like, they look for alternatives. They look for, remember, whether you are doing this, except you are a monopolist, there will be other people who can render the same service, who can produce the same product. So when your quality is not stable, when your quality is not consistent, the customer look elsewhere. And when you begin to have low patronage, the business will be going on that gradually until you get to a point that no patronage, nobody is patronizing the business. How does the business survive if there are no patronages? It is patronage that sustains business, and it's quality that sustains patronage. So when you have inconsistent operation, inconsistent quality, then your patronage, will go out of the roof over time. Yes, most of these things I've discussed, they are internal problems that for every business to go on that. But there are also other external factors which are beyond the control of the business. In that case, you can do little or nothing about it. And that is part of the risk management, things that are beyond your control. You also have to have a way of providing for them. For instance, economic factors, economic situation, when your customer have low, buying capacity is reducing. What do you do? What do they do? They seek for alternatives, especially except when you are selling. It's very essential. I mean, there are things that they cannot do with, maybe food or things that are required for daily need, daily living. Other than that, you discover that when the economic power of the customers are going under, they're trying to adjust their taste. They adjust their spending. They only spend on essentials. That could affect the business, especially those who are not selling essential commodities, essential goods. So economic situation, low income, low purchasing power, all those combined together could affect your business, and that is beyond your control. Then there are also political situations, which are external to the business. Political upheavals, political, patronage and all that is could bring a business down. Then there is government policy. I have a full video on how policy affects your business. Go and look at that, especially if you are operating the SMEs. The big business, as I explained that video, they influence policy. They sponsor people for elections. They lobby people in parliament to make sure they make policy that are friendly to their businesses. But SMEs, they don't have that luxury. Many SMEs owners don't even participate in politics. They consider it a waste of time to attend political meetings. They are not always in the room when the decisions are being made. So, a government policy, could wipe off a particular line of business completely. I've seen it happen. For instance, you are doing a particular, maybe a small scale production, and the raw material is imported, and the government just wake up one day and say, okay, they are banning the importation of that particular raw material. And your machine, unfortunately, has been configured to be suitable to that imported raw materials. Even there are instances, even when there are local alternatives, you discover that your machine cannot process the local alternatives. So that you now have to reinvest in a local machine, or the machine that are suitable to process the local alternatives. Or sometimes the local alternative may not even exist. So government policy could negatively impact the business so much that a business can go under. So business fails every day, everywhere. So what can you do to prevent your business from going under? When you look at all those things we have discussed about, there are those that are within your control, the control of the business. There are those that are outside the control of the business, which the risk factor you have to look into. Sometimes when you want to go to business, you have to do your appraisal, you have to do your feasibility study, you have to do your what-if analysis. What-if analysis is important. For instance, if I'm producing a thing and I say, okay, I know I source the major content of my production from abroad, from outside my country. I should be able to ask myself, what if government wakes up today and says, okay, you cannot bring in these goods? How will I survive? If you think ahead of all these things, sometimes you can begin to think of strategy or to mitigate it if it eventually comes. Sometimes we want to run your business on God forbid, it cannot happen to me. I know what I'm doing, all those stuff. But the reality is like, hey, when the ships are done, you may be caught panting. So business fails because of many factors. What I've discussed earlier are tips. There are many other factors that are peculiar to particular business. But all these that have been discussed, they are general issues that could affect any business. And there are issues that we have seen happen in many organizations, in many businesses that are failed. Even it could affect big businesses. Mismanagement can wreck a big company, a big corporation. No, remember the error of this word. Corruption and all stuff, excessive managerial control and all that. Of course, corruption can bring down a business. There are so many factors that could cause a business. When you want to start a business, these are things you have to sit down and ask yourself, what if? And if you are even running the business, you have run your business for some years, at intervals, sit down, pause, and ask yourself, what if? What if this happen to me? Or you have to ask, okay, how well am I doing in terms of management? How well am I doing in managing my personnel? How well am I doing in my record keeping? How well am I doing in the quality of my operations? Ask yourself those questions. Because when you don't pay attention to this, your business can just be part of history. There's so many businesses who are in the archives. They are gone. So thank you for being with me again today. Keep on watching, share it with your friend. Let's keep doing this together. I am your village boy. Thank you.